Alright, so for problem number 5, let me get my little image here. For problem number 5, we're asked to find tangent, I think it is, of theta. And then they give us this little kind of looks like this. And they tell us that our angle is 11 pi over 6. And remember, this is the unit circle approach. And so what we need to do is think about the unit circle. And I'm going to let you use the unit circle on your... I just memorized the triangles, but that's okay. So where does that land? Well, 11 pi over 6 is 330 degrees. It's right here, right? And so I have two values. How do I get tangent of that? Well, remember that... I'm going to move this over here. Remember that tangent is equal to sine of theta over cosine of theta. And also remember that on the unit circle, our x comma y values are really, because the radius is equal to 1, is really cosine of theta comma sine of theta. Right? At least on the xy plane. So when I look at this, this is cosine and this is sine. So I'm going to write this as negative 1/2 all over, so that's a fraction, all over the other fraction, which is the square root of 3 over 2. So this is also like a division problem. It's kind of like saying negative 1/2 divided by the square root of 3 over 2. But you have to remember that when you divide by a fraction, you actually multiply by the reciprocal. So 2 divided by 2 just reduces down to 1, right? And so when I multiply that across, negative 1 times 1 is a negative 1 all over 1 times root 3, which is root 3. I can't leave the square root in the denominator, so I rationalize it, hit the top and bottom with the square root of 3. I get negative root 3 all over. Now what is the square root of 3 times the square root of 3? Just 3. So that should be the answer. Now, we can double check this on our calculator. So I look up here on my calculator and it says radian. Cool. Then I'm going to say tangent 11, and the pi key is the second caret key, divided by 6. Plug that bad boy in. That's the decimal. So somebody, just before we started recording, says, well, how do I get the answer as a fraction? On the older calculators, you can't. But I think that this is my answer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say negative square root of 3, and you got to make sure that you're outside the thing, divided by 3, and that should be the same decimal. See how I did that? So you just got to do that extra step. If you have one of the brand new calculators, you can set it up to get the exact